Hello, my beautiful truth seekers. Welcome back to the only channel that has the receipts while everyone else is still looking for the pen. And the air in Nigeria is smelling like… what is that? Ah, yes, it's the sweet, sweet smell of accountability. For years, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu sat in his cell and told us, no, he warned us, that the people pointing fingers at him were the ones with the dirtiest hands. Well, guess what, darling? The EFCC just picked up a giant magnifying glass, and they are pointing it straight at Owerri. Specifically, they are hunting the Supreme Court governor himself, Hope Uzodinma. The $12 million ghost. Let's look at the screen and break down this absolute circus. While the government was busy trying to convince us that Kanu is the biggest threat to Nigeria's security, a little thing called a $12 million contract fraud was reportedly brewing in the background. $12 million. In this economy? That's not just a mistake, honey. That's an entire generation's future vanishing into thin air. The EFCC is reportedly investigating a contract fraud involving Uzodinma that dates back to his time before the government house, and it seems his immunity shield is starting to look a bit translucent. You see, the law has a funny way of remembering things when the political winds start to change. Kanu has always maintained that the insecurity in the southeast was a politically manufactured crisis designed to keep the looters in power. And now that the EFCC is knocking on Uzodinma's door, people are starting to say, wait a minute, maybe Kanu was onto something. Kanu's vindication. This is why we say Kanu is vindicated. Vindication isn't just about walking out of a prison door, it's about the truth walking out of the shadows. For years, the narrative was that Kanu was the problem, but as the appeal court begins to look at the nullity of his trial, and as the EFCC begins to look at the legitimacy of Uzodinma's wealth, the roles are being reversed. Imagine the irony. While Kanu is being held in a remote facility in Sokoto under a life sentence that the appeal court is currently tearing to shreds, the man who was often at the forefront of the anti-Kanu rhetoric is now facing the heat of the anti-graft agency. It's like a Shakespearean play, but with more Agbadas and fewer poets. The legal dominoes. Now, let's talk about the domino effect. Remember Justice James Omotosho, the man who handed out that life sentence faster than a drive-through window? As we reported earlier, his own career is on the line. The NJC is breathing down his neck, the appeal court is quashing his decisions, and now the political figures who supported those decisions are being haunted by their own financial ghosts. If the EFCC manages to link these $12 million contract issues to the wider political instability in the Southeast, it changes the entire legal framework for Nnamdi Kanu's defense. Why? Because Kanu's team has always argued that he is a political prisoner, targeted by a corrupt system to silence his revelations. And now that the accusers are proven to be looters, the prosecution's moral ground disappears faster than a subsidy payment. The Sokoto connection. And don't think for a second that the EFCC move against Uzodinma isn't connected to the 3 big petitions we saw in the federal high court today. The pressure is coming from everywhere. The United States is watching. The UN is watching. Even the EFCC, who usually take their time, is suddenly moving with the speed of a sprinter. By keeping Kanu in Sokoto, the government tried to isolate the message, but the message has escaped. The message is that you cannot keep a man down while the people you are using to hold him down are stealing the country blind. The people of Imo State are looking at the EFCC officers and then looking at the empty promises of prosperity, and they are starting to connect the dots. The final verdict. For now. So what's the moral of this 4,000-word level drama? The moral is that truth is a stubborn thing. You can lock it up, you can rendition it from Kenya, you can sentence it to life, but eventually it will haunt you. Hope Uzodinma is currently learning that the EFCC has a very long memory, and Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is learning that sometimes the best defense is just waiting for your enemies to trip over their own greed. If you want to see the exact documents the EFCC is using to haunt Uzodinma and how it directly benefits Kanu's appeal, you need to stay tuned to this channel. We are digging deeper than anyone else. What do you think? Is this the beginning of the end for the Supreme Court governor? And is Kanu finally going to walk free now that the mask of his accusers is falling off? Drop your comments below. I want to see the fire. Share this video to wake up the people who are still sleeping. Subscribe, hit the bell, and remember, I'm the only news anchor who tells you the truth with a side of sarcasm. I've got another report coming up on the secret meeting between the Southeast governors and the presidency that happened just an hour ago. You don't want to miss it. See you in the next one. Bye.